Welcome to episode 2 of the Shonen Show with Earth, Edge, and Lynch. I'm Lynch.
I'm Earth.
And I'm Edge.
So last time we decided to open up the show with talking about what's currently playing. Most of us are watching on Crunchyroll, so that's where we're generating our list from. Anybody got any noteworthy shows that they want to talk about?
Well, I've definitely got my personal 5 favorites this season, but, I'm not going to throw all of them out at once. How about we start with, I guess, one that all 3 of us have seen.
Okay.
I guess I'll start with the top of my list, Denki-gai. It was my favorite for the season, but it has since been surpassed, actually.
By what?
We'll get into that a little bit.
Okay.
I started watching Denki-gai as well. It was a lot like Nichijou and Tonari no Seki-kun, where it's that just random bullshit in the lives of these manga store workers.
Yeah.
Although it is, again, even with it being completely random sometimes, it really does actually have a pretty decent plot, and people are starting to pair up pretty well.
And the characters are very likable. Now I'm behind on the episodes compared to you two, so...
Same here. I've only watched up to episode 3 or 4, something like that.
Same here, yeah.
Because it's gone on the back burner for me because I kind of want to shotgun it all in one go, just as a break from whatever else I'm doing. Because it is that whole randomness and I don't feel the need to keep up with it every week.
Yeah. It's not like a gritty story that you want to constantly what's going to happen next, Log Horizon.
You just had to put that one in there, didn't you?
Yeah. Are we going to go on to Log Horizon now?
We can always talk about Log Horizon on this show.
Well, it is getting its second season this season. So
second season started. It's on episode 6 of season 2.
Oh, did that come out today?
It came out yesterday.
I haven't seen it yet. Was it good?
It's pretty good. I'm not entirely sure where it's going. It's one of those series where it starts out one way and then it's kind of been shifting around. It's been shifting its purpose because the first episode when we were talking about it, it was they were leading up to an economic war in the world. This last episode, they're bringing in flavor text of equipment and more stuff with the people of the land.
And honestly, that's not bad because they're exploring elements of the world again, and I do enjoy that. And I like how they've been throwing in the raid bits, which again. That's part of RPGs. That's adding realism into the game world, and I like that. I like how it's working out.
I mean, it's working out pretty well. But the raid bits, with the Goblin King and the pool of gold, are kind of taking second fiddle to the emotional and the psychological aspects of the series so far, which is fine because they're doing it very, very well. So
I guess sometimes if the build-up is too long, though, and I'm not watching Log Horizon, but
it's not even a build-up. You're getting snippets. You're getting bits and pieces of action and things that are going on, not with the raid, but with the people in the raid.
Yeah.
Which is the fantastic thing that Log Horizon has done in the past, and it's continuing to do so. It's not going the Sword Art route where it's here's action in your face all the time. It's going the relationships and the society and the inner workings of how people come together and form a group
and operate under stress and times of trial.
Mm-hmm. Now, not to kind of change the subject, we do have a lot of anime to talk about. We'll keep moving. But
Log Horizon is at the top of my series this season.
It's
your top. Huh.
Yeah, it's honestly my top as well. It is. I was just drawn to the show during its first season. I love, and to go back to my main focus in dynamic storytelling is I love a good protagonist, and Shiroe constantly keeps you on your toes because you never know what he's going to do, and he's a very interesting character.
Yep.
And that's enough.
Now, to jump to another one you mentioned, Sword Art is continuing with its season 2, and from what I heard from you, Lynch, because again, when I'm not watching, it's starting to redeem itself at least.
Starting to redeem itself. It's getting back to where it was in the first season with Sword Art and Alfheim. Gun Gale was bad. It was bad because it was 14 episodes of dealing with PTSD, and like it could have done very well, but instead of like the characters trying to deal with PTSD and like forming their way and like trying to cope with it, it was more emo than therapy.
Gotcha.
Although now that they're back in Alfheim and they're back to dealing with things that are happening in Alfheim, like the whole they just did an arc with the Frost Giants and Excalibur.
Okay, I do remember seeing I guess bits of that from another watcher.
Yep. It's like it was very well done. They got back to the whole here's the action sequences have gotten a lot better, although that they're still doing the animation cheats. They're doing like the blur background with like the action into like the black background with the slash marks going through. It's like it's not what it was in the first season. So it's kind of disappointing. Like the whole second season has been just kind of disappointing.
I honestly felt that the first season was disappointing, personally. It had me drawn in at first, but then I felt like the show kind of fell flat because the characters just weren't as compelling as I needed them to be to keep me watching.
Yeah. And, well, that's the thing with the first season. It really wasn't... It was kind of about the characters, but it was more about showing the best animation that I've ever seen.
The animation was good. Is good and still stands up, but yeah.
But like they lost that to try and bring out some of like the characters, but they didn't pull off the characters very well.
I kind of feel like I'm just sitting here listening because we're mostly talking about anime I'm not watching, but I'm going to try and bring myself back in, and I'm actually going to connect it pretty well. Speaking of PTSD, another anime that is on my top 5 is Your Lie in April. And the reason I mention that is the main character really does seem to be suffering from
post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, he does have PTSD because of the events that happened with his mother, and then her dying, and then and then the pressures of being in the musical competition world, like it all crashed and crumbled, and now it was a traumatic experience for him, and now he's trying to deal with that.
And now he's being forced back into it, and by people, and as you made this observation, his friends, for being his friends, aren't very aware of the fact that he's psychologically damaged by this. The only one who seems to really get it is the new girl, Kaori, right?
Yeah.
Kaori?
Kaori. Yeah. Pronounce it however you will. American, Japanese,
yeah. But
we'll understand.
She's the only one who seems to get it. And yeah, that's usually the trope. she's pulling him out of his shell. And now, obviously, they're alluding to her having issues that they haven't completely announced yet. But that's always how it goes. But I do thoroughly enjoy the show. I like the whole classical music approach. And I feel like it's something a little different. And I like that.
A well-done classical music approach. It could have been very, very bland.
It could have been Liquor d'Oro's second season, which was just bad. Although I enjoyed the first season of Liquor d'Oro. That was decent. And this is what I was hoping. Your Lie in April is exactly what I hoped for. And it's been producing. And it's been producing well. I've actually been caught up in the manga for a little while, and it looks like it's still going to go through that whole dealing with the PTSD. But it feels like they're going to do it right, instead of just bitching and moaning about it all the time.
No, that sounds good. I mean, the only thing I've got with it, and it's not really a flaw, I just sense a lot of, I guess I'll say, dark areas. It does not sound, in one sense, like it is going to be the entirely bright, happy, cheerful shoujo story that a lot of people think it was going to be.
It's not going to be.
No, it's definitely going to be a drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the vibe. Yeah. It's got this shadowy undertone, but that adds, again, a sense of realism and really draws you to the characters and brings it into a realm of reality that not all anime can capture.
Oh, yeah. Should we, well, I'll say, you guys want me to keep throwing titles out, or?
That was, number 3? Now we go to the next one, I guess?
Oh, yeah.
Like, our lists are almost, like, the same.
Well, I mean, we could always side note onto a manga that actually kind of reminds me of Your Lie in April. I believe I've mentioned it to both of you, Koe no Kitachi, about the deaf girl and the boy who used to pick on her.
Yeah, you mentioned that last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read it yet, but
it's all about the people and the relationships and life. And anyone listening to this, if you like a good people piece, I cannot recommend it more. I'm not current on it. I've only read about half of what's currently available in the manga, but it is a very intriguing story and very gripping emotionally. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that.
I'll definitely have to check it out.
Yeah.
What's the next one on your list?
Oh, well, it's no longer on my list, actually. But kind of while we're on the shoujo rant, I'm going to throw out Wolf Girl and Black Prince.
I've heard of it, not seen it.
I abandoned it after about 4 episodes. It hit that point where I just couldn't take it anymore.
Really?
Yeah, you were saying the other day.
To me, at least, I know you checked it out, Lynch. You couldn't even stand it. Earth, you haven't seen any bit of it. To me, it really... They could be scrolling words at the top of the screen saying, men are evil, become a lesbian. It just seems so much to the idea that just men are evil. Here's a nice, handsome... Well, I shouldn't say here's a handsome guy. He's an asshole. Here's another handsome guy. He's an asshole. I'm sure it's going to keep going that each handsome guy is a fucking asshole. And yet, she won't go and look at any man that is anything as society... Like, she looks at an otaku, and it's ew. She looks at a guy that's a little overweight eating. Ew. It's just like, what the fuck is this? Like, you won't go with the handsome guys because they're assholes, or you complain that they're assholes, and yet you won't... I don't want to even say compromise, but you won't even look at something below a certain standard. It's...
and it's just a standard of beauty. It's not even a standard of them as a person.
Exactly.
It sounds like they're trying to make a jab at the whole male society, but with the whole basing your judgments on a person's worth based on the visual aspect. But like it sounds like the way that they're doing it, it's not doing it well.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's my idea.
They're doing it by bashing instead of satirizing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's my qualm. I mean, let's face it. It's an anime. What are the majority of these people that are going to be watching this going to be like? And I'm not going to say that they're all going to be fat, big, sweaty nerds.
They're going to be like us, a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah.
But it's just the idea that more than likely they're not going to fit into that category of somebody that is seen as beautiful from society's viewpoint. So in one sense, the whole anime is telling you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it because 15 minutes in, it was way too cringeworthy to watch. Because it's all awkward. As far as I could see, it was all awkward comedy.
It is a hell of a lot of awkwardness.
And I hate awkward comedies. It's so cringeworthy. I don't want to watch people be awkward. I'm already awkward.
I bet hospitals were swelling with people who broke their noses from facepalming.
Could be.
Cracked skulls, broken noses.
Yeah.
Head desk.
Head desk
Syndrome.
Yeah.
Another, I guess, mildly cringeworthy at times, throughout supernatural battles. Oh, when supernatural battles become commonplace. That's the full title.
I don't find it really cringeworthy because it's not... It's taking that awkwardness, but it's applying it to it's not really like super awkward. I don't feel.
Oh, no.
But it's more of like it's more like counterculture, like what it feels like a bunch of nerds being in a group, and then they get superpowers, but nothing to do with them.
Well, the only reason I say mildly awkward is, again, anytime you add a chuny to an anime, things get a little weird.
Chuny?
Somebody that has delusions of grandeur.
Chunibayo syndrome.
Yes.
And I don't find it that awkward. Like, it is awkward to watch him be that delusional, but it's also hilarious because everyone plays into it too.
Oh, yeah. Well, that to me is what makes his chuny at least a little better than, say, and you're going to hate me for this, Earth, but love Chunibyo and Other Delusions. That show makes me... I don't even really watch it. I listen to it with my hands over my eyes because it is...
I couldn't watch it because Crunchyroll started airing the second season but never aired the first season, which is bullshit. Don't do that.
Well, they fixed it now, but...
I will elaborate. I was making a death stare at Edge because I am quite the fan of Love, Chunibayo, and Other Delusions, and the second season. I thought they were both really good, adorable. The action scenes were cool, and I liked how they incorporated the alternate reality imagination into it, and a lot of it was what's the girl's name? Rinka, I think.
You can really just say
I think so.
Female protagonist.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Rinka. It was all about her dealing with past life troubles, is why she is living in her delusions, and I could relate to her living in a fantasy world and not facing reality and being like holding on to her childhood imagination in order to deal with things. But it did elaborate on the fact that you do have to give some of that up in order to grow, but you can hold on to pieces of it.
Yeah. Believe me, dude. In one sense, again, the artwork is fantastic. The story is really pretty good, and the characters are pretty enjoyable, all things considered.
It's just kind of cringeworthy.
There are just a lot of times, and it is the same with Erasure, just to throw that title out there real quick, where there's just so many times where somebody says something, somebody goes into one of these delusions, and it's like, you're doing this in a room of other people. Yeah, this isn't a convention, this isn't, your friends, this is you just acting like a complete nut job in front of a high school, and to me, that is just...
It is cringeworthy.
I sit there and through my head, I'm just like, why are you saying that? Why are you doing that? Like, stop. Just stop. Please, for the love of God, stop.
No. Okay. You got another one, or?
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I got a whole shitload I'm watching.
So I'm going to go with one.
Hey, that's not his full name. It's Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm going to go with one that I've been loving. Absolutely loving. And if we're going to go with this whole chuny route, the whole ridiculous route, Gagure Kokkuri-san.
I haven't seen it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah?
It is absolute absurdity to the max, with a very good, with a decent plot, with very good animation, with wonderful characters, because each character is its own individual piece, and it's a play on like a lot of the Japanese superstition. If you haven't watched Gaguri, it's about this girl who is, once again, has undergone some sort of trauma.
Yeah.
And has convinced herself that she is a human doll. And who only needs to subsist off of instant ramen.
Which she ends up then being haunted by, to start with, Kokkuri-san, which is a yokai. Demon. Well, I
Fox
should say
demon.
A ramen demon.
Quickly joined by Inugami, the dog spirit, and
there's a Tanuki.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is. Begins with an S.
Something. Who cares? He's a lecherous old man.
Yeah. And God, I mean, it's just batshit insane. You've got an alien in the class.
What?
Yamato-san, who's an alien that everyone just accepts that he's human, even though he's very much like that tiny, like, gray alien, from Area 51.
Oh, man.
It's fantastic. And
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Kokkuri-san becomes, like, the girl's caretaker because her parents died or something like that.
They haven't elaborated on that.
Yeah, they really haven't gone anywhere with that, but it sounds like her parents died.
Yeah, she's all alone at home.
They Disneyed it. Her parents are dead.
Yeah. And he, like, and since he's been so lonely since, like, the whole Japanese mysticism has, like, kind of started transitioning into, like, the modern technology, like, people stopped visiting his shrine, so his powers started to wane, and then she summons him to, for whatever fucking reason.
Well, it's apparently the summoning him is apparently the equivalent of like
a Ouija board.
Us playing with an Ouija board. Yeah. So I guess people stopped doing that, which brought about a weakening in his power. It looks though like they have some sort of past. I guess like she might have called on him once when she was younger.
Like, they do allude to a past between the two of them, where like he's like he's like the guardian spirit of that household, because his shrine is, I think, if I remember correctly, is within their grounds.
It could be. I
like, because her house is like a shrine or something like that. Or
unfortunately, as far as like actual plot goes, they are pretty.
They're pretty light, but it's a lot of the character interactions between. Oh God, I can't remember. Can't remember her name.
Oh,
Sheena.
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Or I'm mixing up characters, but it's between like the girl, Kokkuri-san, Inugami-san, and the fox and the raccoon spirit. And Tanuki spirit. It's
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's a Tanuki. Okay,
yeah, it is a Tanuki,
which is hysterical because they keep calling them raccoon dogs.
Raccoon dog.
And it's great because he definitely and they do.
Kohina is the girl.
Kohina. Okay, and they do have the whole like he has that moment where he tries to convince people to show him his magic by using his balls.
What?
That was
that's a Tanuki thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that it definitely is probably one of the best this season. It's my number 2.
It's one of my favorite this season. I will watch it every week when it comes out. I love it so much.
I'll have to give it a shot then.
I'm actually going to throw my number 1 out there then. Trinity 7.
Oh,
Trinity! Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
I just saw the first 2 episodes of it, and so it is very fresh in my mind. I like it. I give it a thumbs up. I think the main character, Arata, is a really interesting blend of a main character. He's kind of goofy. He's like a normal teen, but he's also not stupid, and he's prone to outbursts. He feels really human.
He's incredibly honest too.
Yes.
Like, he has no delusions that he needs to be anything other than what he is.
Yes, he's a very grounded person, but he also has flaws. It's just very, very well written character. Very well, like immediately you realize how well developed he is, and you can figure out who he is as a person within the first couple of minutes, and you're like, wow, I like this kid. And
his character doesn't really change, which is a problem with a lot of characters in anime, like, where it's not even like it's not that they don't grow, it's that they just change sporadically and randomly.
Well, it's the same idea as we had talked last time as well about the whole idea of fan service anime and harem anime. And for Arata, he, first off, isn't as lecherous as a lot of harem characters are.
Agreed.
But he's not completely indifferent to the females as well, as it's usually the 2 major extremes in those types.
Yeah, he's a nice middle ground.
Yeah, he's fully appreciative of the female form, but he's not like that whole, like, I need to grope everything.
And honestly, it's I said this to Edge earlier. It's basically like he's a normal teenage boy, and that's good because that's what normal teenage boys are like.
Actually, yeah. I mean, because he kind of in one sense talks a big game, but when like Arin comes on him, he runs away.
Yeah, because he's shy at the same time. He's still a teenage boy, like. Yeah, which is great. I like it. I'm looking forward to the third episode.
A relatable anime to compare it to would be like Demon King Daimao.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what Edge brought up.
High School DxD. It's
Also
that whole
brought
like harem, like high school harem with the supernatural, but it's so well done. Or what's the Blue Exorcist? Which was another really good one with the whole
so good.
Like the whole demon and like kind of harem and high school aspect.
Mild harem.
Mild harem, but it didn't take the forefront because they let this, which was fantastic of Blue Exorcist.
Oh,
like,
yes.
They let the story take the front and foremost, and like the harem was like kind of like the harem or like the relationships was a secondary point.
Mm-hmm. And I have to really give Blue Exorcist credit because the monster and demon design is very grotesque and gruesome for a lot of the stuff that they fight, and I feel like they're not pulling punches when showing and portraying demons. They're not cute demons. They're very, very ugly. They're very and there's dark elements to it, and they pretty up things a lot in anime, and it's
very
like,
true.
Like Blue Exorcist, like I don't want to like directly compare it to Berserk, but it's kind of like Berserk for children.
Well, you know, if you're gonna go that route, Tim knows exactly where I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna bring out my number 3 then, which is Parasite.
Oh, haven't seen
Okay, I
it.
thought you were gonna go the other route.
Nope. No, I mean, if we're talking ugly, because again, there's another Goro show that we mentioned last time, and we will mention a little later on.
Yeah.
But realistically, they prettied that one up. All things considered,
Mm-hmm.
they could have done so much worse with it. But Parasite pulled no punches. I mean, within the first 30 seconds of the show, they tell you what this is going to be, and it has been nothing but horror, really, every episode since.
Don't put your hands in front of your face. Yeah, it's been horror like ever since, and like you could tell, and it's not. They definitely weren't pulling punches when like heads start splitting open and people just get eaten, and it's from like the very first, like as the very first scene in Parasite is watching this husband and wife, and the husband gets turned into a parasite because the parasite infects his brain, changes the whole aspect of and like. It's a mind control parasite.
Like a yerk.
Well, it burrows into its host, and wherever essentially it gets stopped, it tries for the brain, but if it gets stopped somewhere, it will consume whatever part of the body that is and replace it. So generally what they do is they come up and they eat the head and the brain. That way they get complete control of the body, and the head then becomes essentially a separate entity. It still relies on the body to live, but the head now becomes
The new
a weapon, so to speak.
and like from like the very first scene of the first episode, you see this husband and wife, and the husband's been turned, and it's the husband opening up the head and biting the head off of his wife.
That is literally the first 30 seconds.
Awkward.
Not awkward, fantastically well done, and they don't censor it, which is the best part. It's like you actually see violence in a show from another country.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, I mean, I guess if we don't have too much more to talk about with it, I just want to throw one little thing out there, which is this. I'm not going to spoil for people that haven't gotten to it yet, but episode 5, holy fuck.
Yeah.
As well as the fact that realistically, you have to see it coming. It shows you get warning right from the very beginning because it shows itself in the opening sequence. But even when you know it's coming,
oh my god, it's a crusher of a moment.
I don't even want to know. I'm good. But I do have a question. What happens if just your big toe gets taken over?
Well, the main character, his arm got taken over.
he stopped it from going up into his brain.
How?
He tourniqueted it off.
Yeah.
Oh, so he just...
Like, it started burrowing, it did the whole, like, under the skin crawling
And then
thing.
He
And then
tourniqueted it off, called for his parents, and more than likely it realized that if it tried to stay, I guess I'll say itself, tried to keep going for the brain, it would have been exposed and probably killed, so it just settled for the right arm.
The right arm. So it just took his right arm from him.
Exactly.
Did he get it amputated?
No.
No, they've essentially formed a symbiotic relationship.
Is the arm sentient?
Yes.
Does he talk to him?
Yes.
Yep.
Are they buddies?
Kind of. Although
It looks in one sense like they're both having effects on each other. Like, the main character is very, I guess I'll say nerdy, very quiet, Migi, named after Wright for his arm, is slowly making him, I guess I'll say, a little more outgoing. It's giving him a little bit more confidence. It's still slow. It's not anything unnatural, I guess I'll say.
it's a gradual build.
Could another parasite take over his body? Or is he immune now that he has the one in his arm?
Feasibly, one could probably still go for the brain.
Yeah. Because they have an episode about that where he encounters another one of his Migi's kind, where they extrapolate that you may be able to amputate him off and then transfer bodies. You won't be able to transfer spots on the body, but like say the parasite host where the head's been taken over, you lop off the right arm and then you replace the right arm with Migi. That's theoretically possible.
Not to ruin too much of episode 5, but it starts with Parasite, essentially the body dying and the head going, well, shit, this isn't, the body's dead, I'm not going to last much longer, and it decides to
get
switch.
A new body.
Yeah.
Dark.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch this or not. I might give it a go.
It's good because it has a lot of what you want in an anime because it's a lot about like the characters.
Okay.
It's very much about the characters and the personality and the way that they deal with.
Okay.
It also, again, has more of that true horror element where
it's not like that whole. It's not over the top, Guro. It's necessary to the plot and to improve the story, but it's not like, oh, we're just gonna start fucking cutting off heads just left and right just because we can.
We'll go into the next one then, Terraformers, which is the next Goro. Again, if we were to compare Terraformers and Parasite and compare them to two different like horror movies, Parasite is like The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing, almost exactly given the creatures.
It's more like the the thriller.
Exactly.
Whereas Terraformers is the slasher.
Well, it's not even necessarily like a slasher. It's like it would be like calling Predator a horror movie. Because it's the idea that the characters actually can fight back.
Yeah.
In Parasite, that's not always possible.
I wouldn't compare it to I compare it to the new Predators.
Okay, yes, because you have more than one.
More than one, and it's more about like the fight between the two than it is about like the one man or the commandos in the jungle dealing with something new. It's that the terraformers are well established. They've been around for 500 years.
Yeah,
and there have been multiple expeditions to Mars, and it's more like Predators than Predator, where
I haven't seen Predators.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Isn't Adrian Brody in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He gets jacked as shit for that.
Does he?
Yeah.
Does he kill a predator with his nose?
No. Almost, but
almost,
no.
Okay.
But we're getting off track
let's get back to anime.
But Terraformers it's decent, but it's not good. I have a lot of problems with Terraformers. Mainly, the first problem I had with the series was they censored the unliving bejesus out of it.
Yeah, more than likely, if you're listening to this podcast and you have any sort of interest in the new anime this season, you've probably already seen all of the Terraformer memes on the internet.
Really?
There's a whole shitload of them, people making fun of the censoring, because it literally fills about 75% of the screen in some shots.
That's bad.
They've since removed the censoring and re-released the episodes.
Unfortunately not. I was a little premature. Crunchyroll did that as a limited time event for one weekend. If you want to watch them uncensored, pretty much the company is saying, buy our Blu-ray.
Fuck that.
That is terrible.
In one sense, I have to say I really hope that this anime tanks for them and proves to the industry that you cannot do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't do that. Although they have released... at least Crunchyroll has been releasing uncensored episodes.
Well, the episodes since 3, yes, have been uncensored, which has been at least a blessing. We can actually watch it.
Yeah.
All this talk of aliens, parasites, bugs is making me have blue gender flashbacks.
Well, that's the thing we all brought up last time.
Yeah.
Where it's a lot like Blue Gender.
I mean, maybe not quite as much as we thought. The cockroaches don't... this is where I feel that they kitty... As we said earlier, they kitty down the horrors. That these cockroaches... To me, they look like really buff 50-year-old Japanese salarymen. Because they have the weird-looking hair, the big eyes as if they've got, like, the Coke bottle glasses.
It's actually true. Yeah,
They look really
they do.
stupid.
And listeners out there, if you haven't seen what these cockroaches look like, you owe it to yourself to look at them
And make fun of them.
And make fun of them because they're goofy as shit. It's ridiculous.
I mean, even with the well, I shouldn't say superpowers, but even with their powers, even with the fact that they can tear people apart, I could be facing one, about to get my head ripped off, and I would still just be laughing at it.
It might even get depressed and not kill you.
No.
Aww.
But I have another problem with Terraformers, is that it's all the fucking flashbacks. It's bullshit. The flashbacks are bullshit because they happen whenever the fuck they feel like in every episode, and it's like half of an episode is flashbacks or explanations. And I don't... It's such a disconnect from the series, because like, oh, hey, these people are fighting, and there's this action sequence going on, or there's this plot point, but hey, here's this 3-minute explanation about like this one fucking random bug that you've probably never heard of.
Or, I was just gonna make a joke. It's like, this character won a chess competition when he was 7.
Basically.
It does get pretty random with it, which is part of
Really?
why I
That
really
bad?
do like the manga. Definitely, if you want to see, if you haven't seen Terraformers, and by our explanation, for whatever reason, with how much we're bashing it, you feel like checking it out, I'd say check the manga out first. It's much better written. It goes chronologically. The first volume is all backstory.
It's like the Bugs 2 mission.
Exactly. Second volume is where the anime picks up, and it only makes it about an episode and a half, maybe 2 episodes through the anime, but it puts everything chronologically. You see things in that that second volume of the manga that occur in the 5th episode because it's a flashback. They put the flashbacks in order.
Okay, that's good. That's the thing that's bugging me with the anime, is like they don't put anything in any sort of order.
The other thing, and
They
again, I
Tarantino
don't
it.
understand
They Tarantino it.
why they left it out. There was one scene in the manga that really stuck in my head, which, Lynch, you've seen it, the Adolf, the German leader.
Yeah.
He's an asshole in the anime. In the manga, he is found sitting behind one of the buildings, pretty much saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, to his wife over the phone, and gets overheard by a bunch of the cadets, and he's just kind of like, oh, fuck. It was kind of just a very endearing moment, especially after he is initially introduced as this heartless asshole. To leave that out of the anime just continues to make you think,
Anyone
wow,
named
this guy's
Adolf.
this guy's a douchebag.
They're also trying to probably... The whole Adolf name, he's German... That's kind of a cheap shot. I don't really like that they named him Adolf.
It's 25, like 50 in the series.
Yeah.
The name could come back.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that they shouldn't have portrayed him as such a dick.
Well, he's not that big of a dick in the series. It's just he's very he's very standoffish.
Okay.
Is what his character really is. He's standoffish.
Okay.
And he puts up, and
A front.
it definitely feels like, even in the anime, it feels like he's putting up this front or
He wants to appear a certain way.
Yeah.
Again, kind of jumping to the manga real quick, the conversation he's having with his wife, he's pretty much saying that he's trying not to let anybody get close because more than likely
They're gonna die.
Oh, so he's a sensitive soul and he's trying to distance himself.
It's the one thing, again, that they set up in the manga, and it really, when I read that, was like, oh, I really like this character a lot more now. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the manga, the anime, they don't give you that.
Yes.
All you're left is with your impression of, well, he might be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just waiting in the anime. I'm just waiting for Akari and Michelle to hook up.
Oh, they've got to bang by the end of it.
Yeah, because you can see the progression of the relationship where it's fuck off to hey, you saved my life, because Akari did save her life, and he did it before he knew that she was ever going to be in trouble. And it was like he was very much looking out for her from the beginning.
This is the one thing, in one sense, because they gave everybody, I guess, in the combat squads a ranking, and the fact that he was, rank 6?
6, I believe?
I really honestly think he is much higher, just given his ability to think ahead, to plan.
Well, I think his rank is just based on
power.
his combat rating, and his combat rating in his first modified form, which is not including his original modified form, which could be seen from the first episode when he fucking knife hands that goddamn bear.
Yeah, he practically eats a grizzly.
He has 2 forms?
It's a genetic thing that's been passed down because, like, apparently, I think from, like, the Bugs 2 people, they passed down the whole...
This is what makes no sense, because when they said that his parents had the surgery, and that, he was born, either he was born before they went off, because, again, without reading the manga, you really have no clue how many people on Bugs 2 lived or died, yet when you read the manga, it's 2 of them survived.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
he's not related either.
It's this whole backstory that needs to be explained, and it needs to be explained fairly fucking soon.
They're definitely running out of time unless they're gonna, keep doing seasons of it.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious. I might have to watch this.
Again, I'd recommend it. It's not amazing,
but it's entertaining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Entertaining is good. Entertaining is good sometimes.
Let's go to an anime that not much has to be said because none of us really watched it. So let's go Celestial Method.
Never heard of it.
Boring. Boring.
I abandoned it after 2 episodes. It has a lack of story. There is nothing.
It is one of those true slice of life animes where it's just people living their life. There's no plot. It's just like, hey, go do things and we'll watch it.
It would be like essentially taking a video camera around and watching people for 22 minutes, just living their life.
Yeah, like it's nothing.
So I get to see someone take a crap with their cell phone. That's fantastic. That's not something I want to watch.
It's very...
That might have made it entertaining.
Yeah. It alludes to there being more, but again, I abandoned it after 2 episodes. As of that moment, it didn't look like it was going anywhere.
It's that true... It's very true to its genre, slice of life. Which... You kind of have to have more. Like you're not gonna have anything unless you're gonna get like the hikis, the hikikomoris. Watching it, and I think that's really your only audience for it. It's like people who don't have that social life.
Yeah, maybe. I can't even see them enjoying it. It just, to me, it seems like an anomaly of anime.
Oh, they did that last season. I forget what the fuck it was, but they did that last season with another series. If I can find it.
Oh, is that Glass Slip?
Yeah, Glass Slip. Not like the way that they portrayed the series. It's like this whole like grandiose plot, but it's just people fucking living their life. It's just these high school kids being high school kids. Like going to the cafe or meeting up with their friends, and like the first episode, the big conflict of the episode was this one new transfer student saying like something about chickens, and then
chickens!
It's like watching out for predators in the area because they might eat the free range chickens, and then the girl taking it as an attack. And be like, oh, now we gotta save the chickens. It's like, the fuck is this?
Save the chickens!
And then like he finally gets introduced to the group of friends, and she like just started the explanation of like what happened and why like they went through that whole chicken thing, not mentioning him at any point. And then as soon as he walked in like the cafe, everyone gave him the stare of death, like they knew exactly what he did, and like they're gonna hate him forever for it.
Honestly, I'm falling asleep listening to your explanation of the show.
It's bullshit. I fell asleep watching the fucking episode. It's crap.
Yeah, I have no idea why, but for some reason, my brain needed to go to a happier place during that explanation, so I started thinking of Kokkuri. And
It's not really a happier place.
oh, I mean, it's
crazier
it's a,
place.
It's a crazier place.
but it's a fun crazy. Well, it's a momentary lapse of reason. That's one of those, for those out there who don't know what Fulikuli is, it's one of those older animes that's...
I'd hope everybody... Well,
I hope that, for those of you who haven't seen it, check it out.
Everyone who enjoys anime should watch it at some point. It's
Yes.
one of those staples that everyone
Yes.
should watch.
and it's only 6 episodes,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, and the music rocks. The music for Fulikuli is amazing, and the animation's good.
You know what? Actually, since you bring up music, I'm going to take a quick second and retract one statement I made from the last episode, which was when I was going on my Death Note rant. I will take back that Death Note does have at least decent music at the very end of each episode.
At the very beginning of season 2 as well.
Oh, was that the opening for one?
Maximum Hormone did,
What's
I
up?
think, one opener and 2 endings.
Okay. So I know I think it was the first ending was Zetsubo Billy.
Well, yeah, it was Zetsubo Billy, and then What's Up People was another one, and I think there was a third one that they did for the series. I'd have to look it up, but I don't know. Maximum the Hormone is fantastic. Listen to them. They're a Japanese punk metal band.
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out.
With the big Samoan guy as lead singer and guitarist.
Awesome.
This tiny Asian chick is the drummer and vocalist.
That's fantastic. I'm going to have to listen to that. If we're going to talk about music and themes real quick, I think my favorite opening theme, well, I want to transition into this just to talk about a point in manga, anime, history world kind of going on right now. My favorite Naruto opening theme was the 5th one by a band called Sambo Master, and I really love that song. I've listened to it all the way through a bunch of times, and it's a really cool song. Neither of these two have seen it, heard it, but
I've definitely heard it, but I'm just trying to picture which one that is.
yeah.
I still say my favorite from Naruto was Heroes Come Back.
Which one's that?
Nobody. It's the very first one, opening for Shippuden.
Shippuden.
Oh, okay. That one's okay. I love number 5 for the original.
I love that crazy Japanese hip hop.
Oh yeah.
It's so ridiculous with it, where it's entertaining. It's not about like dissing or like drugs, sex, and money. It's very much about like creating. It's very much about like it's staying more true to the old school hip hop.
Okay. I remember this one.
The music video for that's actually pretty cool too.
I'll link
the
it.
actual song. Yeah.
I'll link it.
Yeah, link it with the with it. It's a good song. I very much like the actual song, not just the opening intro. I like the song itself by Sambo Master. I think it's a very good song.
Just to throw my own 2 cents in real quick, I'd say probably my favorite is number 2, Haruka Kanata from Asian Kung Fu Generation.
Yeah.
That was good.
But
Back to the topic at hand. I do want to bring this up because it is major in the anime manga world. Naruto did in fact end. Naruto is over. Naruto's manga finished this week, or I guess last week. And it is done. And I must say, I am completely 100% satisfied and pleased with the way it ended. It released, they did 2 chapters in one release. The last one, I guess, chapter 700 being in full color, and it summed up the story, and it left me feeling good and satisfied. And I cannot say that about many manga and anime. And for the author to have done that is extraordinary, especially in a mainstream story.
Usually we get Akamatsu.
Well, I will say that most anime or manga does leave me at least mostly satisfied. The only thing I would say with that is more than likely it's the idea that you were... I mean, to me, it's kind of surprising to be satisfied after 700 chapters.
Yeah.
More than likely, after that long of a run, you've probably hit something that is going to
And it's surprising. For me, it's surprising that it actually ended. It could have gone like the Bleach, the One Piece, the Detective Conan, for Christ's sake.
15 years. It was in publication for 15 years, and Kishimoto, I think, is the author.
I don't know.
But he wrapped it perfectly. I think that's just it, and it takes a certain author to know when to end it and to end it well, and to not just give your fans what they want, but give it them in a way that's not just it's not necessarily fan service, but it's gratifying and leaves you with a feeling of closure. And that's really all I have to say about the ending of Naruto, and I'm looking forward to seeing his next major
hopefully
piece.
it's closed. We don't need a Naruto GT.
Naruto GT. Oh, I will be so furious.
There was one thing you said at the end about the ending where I'm not gonna spoil it. Where it makes me want to read like the last few chapters just to see it.
Yeah.
And it's who Naruto ends up with. Because I've been rooting for that for like 15 fucking years.
I know, it was so satisfying.
Damn it.
Oh, man.
I gotta take a fucking leak.
Oh, enjoy yourself.
guys-
we
you
can
guys-
keep this going.
Keep it going.
Like, I'm trying to think of what else has been going on, and I know this is an anime show, but I definitely like to keep current on the manga end of things more so than Edge and Lynch. So that's kind of my thing. To bring up one, Hajime no Ippo. It's been in publication for 20-something years. It's at 1,076 chapters, and it's still going. And I think only 4 years have passed in the actual story, which is ridiculous. And I know it's a boxing story, and honestly, it's a good boxing story. But man, has it been going on for too long. I've been reading it for like 4 or 5 years now, and they are continuing with the anime, but it's just like, wow. I honestly think he really needs to end it because it's just been going on for too long. He needs to speed it up at least. I know he's trying to, it's a very realistic portrayal of boxing and being a boxer and the trials and tribulations, but it's just like, whew, so long.
I'll say just to put my own comment on there, I haven't really read any of Hajime no Ippo, but
The anime is worth a watch.
Kind of to liken it to the boxing that he's portraying, mangaka don't exactly have
I'll read it later.
the largest or the
wanna show you the
longest
face.
shelf life themselves. I mean, they don't necessarily. This isn't, of course, true of everyone, but they usually don't have the healthiest lifestyle. I know the mangaka. Well, I shouldn't say mangaka because he's Korean, but I guess the term would work. But the
Manhwaka?
I don't know what they call it.
They're the Korean mangas
Manhwa. So I guess Manhwaka, whatever. The man that was writing Rebirth.
Oh,
A very good, very well done vampire story, but he drug his heels for a long time. It was taking forever to go through publication, and actually it got to the point where Tokyo Pop closed shop over here, and so we lost it.
yeah.
But he was also suffering a lot of health issues.
D and Angel.
Yeah. He was suffering a lot of health issues. So, I mean, even if, Tokyo Pop didn't close up, if he dies before he finishes the story...
Well, I mean, there are solutions to that. A couple of my favorite authors have died before finishing books, but it's not an easy fix.
That's very, very, very hard to
to do,
finish.
yeah.
Unless you get somebody better to finish your books, like Wheel of Time.
Brandon Sanderson.
Brandon Sanderson's so much better than Robert Jordan. No, yes, he is.
Oh, they have different styles, and we will debate this after.
So wait, Sanderson has original ideas where Robert Jordan can only rip off Tolkien.
What? Rip off
Okay, let's save
that's for another
outside the
time.
table.
That'll be a side note. And I'm also really excited that you've read The Wheel of Time. That makes me really... No?
Probably ready enough to just piss you off.
Yeah, read enough deal. Hey, this is a ripoff.
So annoying.
I'm gonna bring up the two. Well, there's three. I guess I'll say short story anime this season. One of which is gay. The other two are relatively normal. So, the first one being I can't understand what my husband is saying.
Oh,
the second one being High School Seiha Girls, which God, if Sega could create a 11-minute advertisement, it's what they're doing in animated form. Which honestly, I'm enjoying it. It has so many references to both Genesis games as well as just even a lot of Japanese games that I was excited for as a kid that never made it over here.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like they're doing a Hitalia with it.
Yeah, they're 11-minute shorts. Honestly, I would enjoy full episodes, so maybe we'll get that same treatment.
I haven't checked it out. I've checked out because you showed me. I can't understand what my husband is saying, and it should. I think it should be at least be like a half episode, more than like a 4-minute episode.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, but yeah, those 4-minute episodes leave off right when you want more.
Yeah, I need more. It might be like a pilot like test run of it.
I hope, because it really is the same way as I think it's One-chan.
Something about sister fucking or something like that.
No. Wait, is this the one with the obsessive sister and the little brother?
The yandere sister.
Yeah, but they're step siblings, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it really is okay, but
Well, it's not okay. She's stalking him.
Well, yandere is a win.
Well...
Why do we know these things?
If you guys, for those of you out there who, again, following the manga thing, if you want to read a really bizarre yandere romance, it's, what's it called? Koharu no Hibi, and it's only 24 chapters long. It's weird, semi-creepy, but actually kind of nice and amusing at times, so check it out, it's weird.
But then the third, let's see, I'm going to see if I can pull it up real quick. There it is. The third one of the short anime ones is Orenchi no Furo Jijo.
What is that?
When it was first announced back before Crunchyroll before the season started, it said it was about a mermaid living in a bathtub essentially living in this teenage boy's bathtub. It sounded pretty hilarious to me.
That does sound amusing.
It sounded interesting.
But then you look at the cover, it's obviously a dude.
It's obviously a dude, and when you read the description, it says a mermaid boy. Why they don't just say merman, I'll never understand.
Because it's the terrible synopsis writers for Crunchyroll.
But that's exactly it.
He had to go get a tissue.
Probably hit the trash can or the toilet.
But
supposedly it is done short story style.
I watched the first episode. It's like a 4-minute thing.
I can't.
Yeah, I couldn't after the first episode. I was like, I'm glad it was 4 minutes because it felt like fucking 2 hours watching that shit. It's bad. It's not the good kind of short format. There's although I do want to bring up another one. That I'm being confused. A show that I've been confused about. It's Fruta Grisaya.
Never heard of it. What's it about?
Honestly,
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
It really sets itself up. It reminded me a lot of Irregular at Magic High, simply because you have a very, I don't even want to call him straight-laced, but this very, I guess I'll say, hard-to-read male protagonist that seems to have
stoic.
Yeah, thank you, stoic. That definitely works. That seems to have a military background, or it seems like a military background.
Military background, or like the way that it's sounding like he's a mercenary or an assassin or something like that.
Oh, like Full Metal Panic?
No.
Oh.
Not.
No.
Well, kind of. Like
I just wanted to...
Full Metal Panic, but with less plot.
Oh, well, how do you get less plot? Well, Full Metal Panic actually had a decent...
By having no plot.
By having no plot. Oh,
part of the problem is that the first episode was very good. It draws you in. And then the second episode, we're up to what? Episode 5 or 6 now?
6 comes out.
6 is out
today.
It just really isn't the same as what the first episode was. It alluded to a lot of things that still have yet to be addressed. And it's just, I've been enjoying it, but it definitely changed. Sorry to interrupt you. It changed from looking like, I'd say an action anime of sorts to definitely like a psychological drama.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Especially after the last two, like the not episode 6, but episodes 4 and 5, when they deal with like the split personalities of one of the characters and him dealing with that, and it goes, and from there, before the episode before that was like a pure comedy episode, and the episode before that was another like kind of like psychological drama, like where another.
So the anime's bipolar is what you're saying.
No, the anime is schizophrenic. Is what it is.
with mild manic depressiveness.
Especially after episodes 4 and 5.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's depressing as shit.
I mean, not to...
That is one sad poo.
Unfortunately, a cat gets run over in, I think it's episode 4. Honestly, I will watch people getting torn asunder in Parasite and Terraformers all day long rather than watching that poor cat get run over again.
Cats... It's pets.
Well, okay, thank you. Yes, pets.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't get a read on Fruity Grisaya because it is all over the place with its. It doesn't even feel like it's like episodic either.
Very true. It is holding in one sense a plot. It's just at the moment that plot is undetermined.
Yeah, like it feels like every episode that they're trying to continue some sort of plot, but like each episode doesn't like have anything to do with that plot. It's just like the interactions between some of the characters. It's very weird and all over the place, and I don't like... What the fuck?
It's my girlfriend's birthday. I'm sending her a picture.
So you duck-faced at your phone?
Blowing her a kiss, you dick.
Looked like a duck face.
I would never do a duck face. Do you want to know what a duck face... that's not even...
Do it.
There.
Do it and take a picture of it so I can fucking ridicule you for it for years.
Yeah. Anyway, off topic.
But, it's just hard to get a handle on Fruity Grisaya because it is all over the place.
All right.
Anything else anybody's been watching?
I mean, again, more on the manga side for me. What have I been reading? Have you guys... I don't know if they're going to do an anime adaptation of Shokugeki no Soma, but it's another one of those... It's a cooking battle manga, and it's actually pretty cool. I like it.
Well, if that's the one I'm thinking, they actually just start releasing the manga over here, so depending on the buzz it gets...
Yeah. It might. And have you guys checked out the 7 Deadly Sins yet? Nanatsu no Taizai?
No.
That is actually a really good, weird manga. It's called, in English, it's the 7 Deadly Sins, but in Japanese, it's Nanatsu no Taizai. Very good. It's up to 102 chapters. I've been following it for maybe a year now, and it's very good. I actually really hope they make an anime adaptation of that because the art's good, the action's good, and it's got a nice sense of humor, and the characters are likable.
And just to kind of give you, in a sense, a bit of hope, it seems like really they're kind of going back even and grabbing older manga to turn into anime.
I'd like that.
Parasite, for example.
Was it older manga?
It ran from 1990 to 1995.
No shit.
Nice.
It is long done.
Wow.
It's going to have 2 live action movies. The first release this year, the second release is next year.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of live action movies, I need to see the new Kenshin live action movie.
I
They
hear
made a
it's good.
Kenshin live action movie?
Yes, they made the first one, which was season 1,
Huh.
and then they made they're making 2. They're going to be back to back. It's
shit.
The Burning of Kyoto
No shit.
with the
Wow.
Shishio. And
Wow,
like
the Shishio bit?
yeah, the Shishio arc. They just released the first movie of that arc. And then there's going to be a second one next year. And they filmed them, I believe they filmed them back to back. Just with split releases.
Oh, no, that's good. Kind of one of the live action movies I'm waiting for is the continuation of Dororo, which is a very, I shouldn't say a very, but a much older manga that had a release, I'd say almost 10 years ago. They did the first live action movie for it.
And they said that they wanted to do it kind of as Japan's Lord of the Rings. They were going to do it in 3 parts.
Interesting.
I have not seen part 2 or 3, and again, it has been about 10 years, and I have not heard a thing. If anybody has any information, please leave a comment. Like, I would love to find these things if they exist.
Yeah. Another great live-action adaptation of an older series is Space Battleship Yamato.
Oh, yeah.
That live-action movie, fantastic. I love that movie from start to finish.
Never saw it.
You need to see it.
We'll have to watch it sometime.
Yeah.
You know,
It's very, very true to the old Space Battleship Yamato. I loved it. I loved it so much.
Jeez, we're starting to get to the point where we really only have the anime that we're not watching left.
I mean, how about we transition into? How about we talk about some old gems? Anyone's come to mind? Any old ones that we've never brought up? Did anyone have like a particular favorite that they wanted to bring up today?
How old are we talking?
Anything, like at all. Something maybe no one's heard of. Something that you maybe you saw years ago that you always really enjoyed.
I'm going to list 3 real quick because I personally love fantasy stories. So I'm going to list 3 in rapid succession. Record of Lotus War, Slayers, and Orphan.
Orphan was one of the earliest anime I ever watched, and I'm actually quite partial to Orphan, yeah.
I can't think of any off the top of my head because it's been so long. Bacano was a really good one. I loved Bacano.
Bacano sounds familiar.
It's like a kind of like a turn of like the 18th century, like kind of steampunk Cowboy Bebop.
Ooh.
It was a little too odd for me, but then again, I'm not terribly huge into sci-fi. So.
Yeah. Speaking of weird, how many of us watched Big O back in the day?
I'm pretty sure anybody who was tuned into Toonami or Adult Swim
watched Big O.
Big
O, showtime!
Big O.
Yeah, Big O was one of the weirder, fun ones to watch back in the day.
I do kind of have to take back the idea of me not enjoying steampunks. It's not truly steampunk, but I really did enjoy Chrono Crusade.
Oh,
I don't think I've seen that.
Chrono Crusade. That was with the demon and the priestess.
Essentially none. Yeah.
Yeah, none. Yeah, that was
The
sad,
Holy Order
actually.
of Exorcists.
Yeah, that was actually sad.
The ending was depressing.
Yeah, but it was a good depressing. It made sense, and the action was good, and the characters were again endearing. So yeah, Chrono Crusade was a good one. That was a good call, Edge. That's one I haven't thought about in a while.
No, I have seen that. It's just been so long that
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Old gems. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Well, I shouldn't say very old, but
No, I mean it's at least a decade old.
I mean, hell, we got old Mecha, which
I'm going to try to avoid mentioning Gundam just because, again, there is a lot of people that...
Yeah. There's only, like, of the old Gundam, of Gundam, there's really only one series that I actually truly loved. And that was 08th MS Team.
I haven't seen 08th MS Team in so long.
Because it was such a drastic change from all the other Gundams where it's the Empire and and that it was 08th MS Team was it was basically a telling of what happens on the ground to regular infantry.
Oh wow.
It was fantastic, and there's one thing where I distinctly remember where the mobile team gets stuck in the desert and they have to survive in the desert.
Wow.
Because I guess either their transport got destroyed or like they got dropped in the wrong LZ, and it was just they had no way to communicate. They had no way to escape other than to get out of the desert.
Yeah.
And survive. I love that series.
I remember in my early days of anime watching bits and pieces of 0079 and 0083, and I really enjoyed them. And I actually really want to go back, get copies of them on DVD or Blu-ray, and watch them all the way through, and give them the watch that they deserve. Although I'm sure they're expensive to buy the whole seasons, but then after the original couple, they just got weirder and weirder, like Gundam Seed, Gundam Destiny, G Gundam
was such a split from what they do.
It was so weird.
It was weird. It was like it's that cartoony, like more of like a kid's.
It was a kid's Gundam. Yeah. It wasn't like a space drama anymore.
Speaking of Gundam, another good one is Gundam Build Fighter.
What's Gundam Build Fighter?
It's not about Gundams. It's about kids who build model Gundams and then fight the model Gundams with other people who build their own model Gundams. It's wonderful. It is wonderful.
It's an anime?
Yes.
You can tell they're really kind of searching for ideas there, but
Well,
it is at least interesting.
it's probably better than SD Gundam with the little midget Gundam.
SD Gundam can go fuck itself. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I almost didn't want to bring it up.
Asshole.
I didn't want to bring it up, but that was an abomination. I saw.
You want to talk abominations in SD form?
The fucking
Fist of the North
Fist of the
Star.
North Star. Oh my god, it's so it's atrocious. It's abysmal.
I mean, in one sense, it is an interesting idea for an anime. It would be really neat because the whole purpose of the anime is what would have happened if the world didn't end. You know, what would have happened to Kenshiro at that point and the rest of them? Because all of a sudden,
I've never seen Fist of the North Star, so please don't ruin plot for me.
Well, it's the idea that the world has ended.
Oh,
it's like a Road Warrior.
Oh, it's post-apocalyptic. Okay.
Exactly. So it's the idea that you've got really no society, no rules, survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
So
Really, it is Road Warrior.
yeah,
Road Warrior, the anime.
So the idea with the SD Fist of the North Star was that the end never happened.
Yeah.
So you've got all these people that should be warriors. You know, they're stronger than the average human, and they're working in like convenience stores or.
That's weird.
It was kind of funny, but it's just so fucking weird that. Yeah.
It's off the wall bonkers, and I
Just too off the wall bonkers. It's like cat soup bonkers. Oh. Yeah, that's right. I dropped that.
no, we're not going to touch that.
I think
You were saying earlier, like with the Double O Gundams, which just reminded me of an older anime that I loved, which was Cyborg 009.
I love Cyborg 009. Oh, I'm so glad someone else has seen that besides me.
That's another old Adult Swim.
Yes, it was so good. Oh, it's one of those classics that only the older dogs have really seen, and the newer kids nowadays don't even know exist.
Need to see it.
Well, honestly, I mean, obviously, it's not as unknown as a lot of these other titles, but even Yu Yu Hakusho these days, it's getting to the point where it's been relegated to old anime.
Yeah,
nobody watches.
But it's one of the grandfathers. Like it's one of the old mob bosses. You gotta see Yu Yu Hakusho.
I watched that on Cartoon Network.
So did I. Dude, Cartoon Network was the best.
When they actually showed cartoons.
Yes, well, yes. Although, Robot Chicken's awesome.
Well, the Robot Chicken, it's claymation, so it's in the same vein.
Yeah.
It's the live action shit that I can't.
They're
can't
getting back to it in one sense because they're airing Kill la Kill.
Are they?
Yeah, Kill la Kill,
Wow.
Space Dandy, Attack on Titan.
No shit.
They've got a couple of them.
That's about time.
I love Space Dad. I love
Never seen Space Dandy.
It's Ken or no the creator of Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo makes another episode made another episodic like geared at Westerners anime,
Yeah.
but this is a space comedy, just a pure and simple space comedy.
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah,
Sounds good. I'll check it out.
You know, I got to throw the flame shield up real quick. Well, since he mentioned it, and I'm gonna do this every episode. Fuck Samurai Champloo.
Yes, fuck Samurai Champloo. You get 3 episodes of plot and then 22 episodes of bullshit.
The premise was good. I will give it that. It was.
I honestly never finished it. I enjoyed the bits that I saw, but never really cared to really go too far into it.
It was the idea that Jin had a stick so firmly planted up his ass that he was an annoying character. Mugen was too sporadic.
Yeah, too crazy.
And Fu was worthless.
Yeah. She was like the driving point of the plot in like the first episode, and then after that,
no point.
No point.
Yeah,
no
no
point
point.
to her character.
She could have been dead.
Gotta find the fucking.
They could have replaced her with a puppy.
Yeah, basically.
Probably
well,
would've been better.
the puppy would have been better.
The puppy, yeah. At least the puppy's cute, and it barks, and it might find stuff.
Well, see, part of the problem too is I mean, Jin's character,
They could even eat the puppy.
I guess, is kind of just randomly taken, but it was almost like an Akira Toriyama, where Mugen was almost directly drawn from Spike, and Fu was almost a complete redraw of Faye.
Yeah, it's the problem is they split the human psyche into the id and the ego, I believe, or the superego. The superego, the id and the superego. Look this up. The Freudian.
Okay, yeah, you're talking. Yeah,
I'm talking about the
Psychology.
the psychology.
Yes.
Freudian psychology. The id, the ego, and the superego. Mm-hmm. The id is the I want everything now. This is very impulsive, and the superego is very the controlling factor of. I think it's It's either the ego or the superego. It's the controlling factor wants all of the control to happen. It's very much where he took the characters of Jin and Mugen and made them the
polar opposites.
The id and the superego. It's where it's Mugen is very that impulsive, crazy. I'm going to do things just because I want to do them. And Jin is the very stoic, the very
controlled,
that ideal samurai. And it didn't really work for an anime form or anybody who doesn't know psychology. And Fu is, I think, then Fu would be the third. Fu would be the ego.
Well, even then, if you're going to talk like psychological anime, I'm just going to drop Persona 4. I mean, it's based off of Jungian psychology, the whole idea of the conscious and unconscious minds and that which dwells within them. Again, if you do it right, it comes across very well.
If I take time to brush up on my Freudian psychology and rewatch Samurai Champloo, that might actually make Samurai Champloo interesting. I'll make the stipulation. Read up on Freudian psychology.
And we'll watch it.
And watch Samurai Champloo, because I really believe that Fu, Jin, and Mugen are the ego, the superego, and the id.
But still at the same time,
it has no plot.
It doesn't have any plot. But
even if it makes it watchable, it's the whole idea that you have to read this to understand, and they don't tell you. That's kind of Bungie Destiny bullshit.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about that, but I'm just saying. Speaking of video games, Dengeki Bunko comes out this week.
Yes.
And I'll say both of you just stare at me, but...
I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That sounds like Denki-gai. Wait, we talked about that already. Oh, wait. Dengeki Bunko. Yay! Yay, Dengeki Bunko fighting climax, the anime fighter. Yay!
It's gonna be great.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Although, and
Lidge, add the link.
Yeah, I have a suspicion in one sense that they're going to take the three girls from the Sega promotional anime and put them in because they show up as promo items in the limited edition. I get the feeling they're going to be in the game.
Oh boy!
It looks like a really solid fighter though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, I just want to play as Taiga.
Well, I mean, there are a bunch of characters from anime you like.
Yeah.
Well, I want to play the one character that we can't play because he's so overpowered that he can't be in the fucking game.
Who?
Well, you can call on him.
you can call him on him as an assist.
Who is
We're
it?
talking about a regular Magic High School.
Oh, yes. Well,
I can't remember I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking mind fart.
Yeah. God, you don't watch it for a couple weeks because they don't continue it.
Well, you watch 22 other series, and God, you forget a name.
But I was able to remember Taiga. But then again, I love Toradora.
Tatsuya, yeah.
Tatsuya, yes.
Although Toradora is one of those animes that I believe every fan should watch.
Yes.
Actually, it is starting to get pretty popular. I mean, a lot of people were doing the one anime social site I use for mobiles. Don't ask me the name of it. I can't remember. Which is sad. A lot of people were putting up polls saying, I'm looking for new anime, but I don't want to watch something that's well known. And a lot of people, like somebody would suggest, watch Toradora. And a lot of people would come in and say, well, yes, you should watch it, but that's not no name. It has a reputation.
Toradora is it's wonderful. It's one of the best rom-coms to have ever been created.
I agreed. Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to steal it from you again so I can watch all the way back through it, just because I really want to watch it again, Edge.
I firmly believe it really is one of the best to ever have been created.
Agreed. It's just such a nice story, fun story.
It's well developed.
Yes.
The characters are all interesting.
Oh.
The plot is fantastic. The animation is really good.
Very
the voice
nice.
acting is great. The music, it's that quintessential where everything comes together perfectly to make that one anime where it's just
And it's funny, and there's the right amount of drama. The jokes are good, and the people are just so believable, so believably human.
yeah.
The only thing I think that can surpass it, given its second season coming soon, is My Romantic Comedy Snafu.
Teen romantic comedy snafu.
I haven't seen it.
Did you watch? Speaking of old things, did you watch Daria in the 90s?
Of course.
It's
Of course I watched Daria.
My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu is the anime version of Daria.
Wow, the Japanese remade Daria?
Not remade, but it's the
Spiritual
the-
successor to
yeah.
Daria.
Yes. It's that whole
We'll watch that later.
it's that whole cynicism where there's a group of friends with like the whole cynicism against the
social
culture
norms,
the
yeah.
social norms.
I think you did tell me about this, Edge. Yeah, okay. I'll check it out.
It's wonderful.
I will check that out, then, yes.
I love it so much. It does get a lot of flack though, because it is that cynical take on normal high school life.
Yeah.
That a lot of people, like a lot of the anime fan base has like kind of taken to town because it isn't like the shoujo.
Well, that's exactly it. So many
typical.
people look at it and they're like, well, this doesn't portray, Japanese high school life according to anime. It's not everybody having, a perfect life. They have the girlfriend, the friends, the club activities they enjoy.
No, it's more real.
That's exactly it. It's very much like, hey, I could see, I could put myself in the main character's shoes and it would be, hey, this pretty much was my high school life.
Yeah. And that's good. That's, again, good dynamic storytelling.
It is good. It's a lot like and it's a lot like Haganai.
Yes.
If anybody out there's watched Haganai, I can't make any friends.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I liked Haganai. We never finished watching it.
Yeah, no, we definitely have to finish that.
Yeah, I liked Haganai. I like Haganai. That was good.
It is good. It's the counterculture to anime.
Yeah.
Where it gets shit on because it is counterculture, because a lot anime fans nowadays have become a lot like Porsche fans, where it's new, but even though it's new, we don't want anything to be different.
Yes. Ugh. And personally, I like innovation.
Part of the problem too is that I think it's the fans are looking at the social norms that anime portrays, and then anytime an anime does that
Deviates from it. Yeah.
They look at it and they're like, well, that's bizarre. That shouldn't happen. I mean, in every other anime, it's like this, so that shouldn't. It's like, well, yeah, because this is taking a more realistic approach.
Well, it's showing a different side, and don't be opposed to like having something that's different, especially if it's good.
Well, yeah, if it falls on its face, then yeah, sure. Ignore it for the piece of crap it is.
Yeah, if Snafu was a piece of shit, go ahead, take it to town, but it's actually really well done, so fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, just to give my last thoughts on it, the fact that the main character did not change. He's, got at least two different girls pretty much trying to ride him, and he stays a cynical asshole to the end.
And even both the girls, they didn't, like, their characters didn't really change either. Like, they were still, like, the super serious, Yuki. Her character didn't really change away from that very honest, I'll tell it to your face character type. She might have had like changes where she'll open up or she'll open up to more people, but like that base personality didn't change. Or the other chick, I forget what the fuck her name is.
God.
The bubbly Yui, the bubbly, like, kind of self-conscious chick. Her personality didn't really change, but she opened herself up to more people, to a group of friends. So it wasn't an innate, like, complete character 180. It's a character
more believable.
Yeah, it's a
A
character
believable evolution.
It's a character expanding, not a character changing.
Yeah. And expanded and growth. The key word is growth. You want character growth.
Well, and again, you want believable growth.
Yeah.
You don't
Yes,
want
yes,
them,
believable growth.
You don't want them to do things that are completely counter to the character.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Black Bullet.
We'll get to that one another episode.
Well, we did
another
that rant
day.
the first episode,
Yeah.
so
But
But yeah, so we're almost at an hour and a half. So
yeah, let's I think
let's get into our wrap ups.
I agree.
yeah.
Well, we're gonna continue to watch. For me personally, I'm going to be watching actually quite a few of the ones we've mentioned today. Couple I might abandon along the way. I've abandoned Akatsuki no Yona because it's We'll get into that. Maybe we'll get into that in a later episode. But for the most part, I'm still gonna have about like 15 episodes a week to watch.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. I mean, normally by this point, by episode 4 or 5 in a season, we've abandoned probably at least half of the anime. I'm still watching here, like 14 series.
I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, then again, I used to read.
There's just so much good anime.
Most of them come out on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
Or you just catch up on the weekend.
Well, I mean, for me, I used to when I was really keeping track of all the manga coming out. I used to read like 14 a week, new chapters, and then pilfer the internet for new series constantly.
Well, part of it, at least for me, I mean, I'm watching, again, 2 that are short.
Yeah,
I mean,
that does help.
Husband is 3 minutes apiece,
Yeah.
Seiha Girls is 11, so...
Yeah.
I don't have any of the short format stuff to watch.
I do like that they're doing that now, though. I think it's a nice little.
Well, I enjoy that they're actually airing them, and instead of packaging them in with the Otaku USA or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But yeah, we'll get back to you next time, and we like to take a month in between to watch anime and form new opinions, and because it gives us time to, instead of going week to week, it gives us time to form for each series to come of its own. I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the month, but maybe if we get maybe we could do it bi-monthly eventually.
I think you mean bi-weekly, but...
No, bi-monthly means twice a month.
Bi-weekly would be twice a week.
Yeah. Which is a common misconception in the English language, but we'll get that. That's another conversation.
We don't need to teach English grammar in this podcast.
But I wouldn't be opposed for bi-monthly, but it gets down to the point
Scheduling and stuff like that,
and keeping up with series.
Yeah.
Because I'm already producing. I'm on another podcast, and I'm producing. It's my time constraints to podcast. I like to keep it at once a month.
Yeah.
And it gives us time to
refresh
and form concrete ideas and like,
we're not always talking about the same things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because especially if we do it too often, we're going to have
not enough to talk about.
Exactly.
We're just going to run into the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. But it's going to be an evolving process, and we thank you guys for coming along for the ride with us.
I'm just going to throw this out real quick before we wrap up. I mean, they call me Edge, full nickname being the Blood Edge. If you look up on the PlayStation Network or Steam, the Blood Edge 45, you'll find me. So if you ever feel like swinging by, playing either some Destiny or hell, Dengeki Bunko when that comes out, look me up.
Oh, if you're also on Crunchyroll, check out our Crunchyroll page, The Shonen Show. 3 guys, 1 anime.
3 guys, 1 anime.
Or 1 anime show or something like that. I forget what my tagline is, but just check us out. Join up.
That's going to get us banned.
Join up. Well, I'm posting slight updates because we don't have like a whole lot of membership right now.
Yeah.
I'm just posting like show updates, but Like, talk to us about anime. We'll
Yeah.
do it.
Maybe we should make a Facebook group eventually.
Eventually.
I can even moderate that.
Yeah, if you want, because once Edge joins up to the Crunchyroll group, I'm making him a moderator for the group.
Yeah, I'll start working on a Facebook group for us then. That'll be good.
You can find us. You obviously find us on YouTube, but yeah, find us on Crunchyroll. If you're on Steam or PlayStation Network, I'm Asher Dales.
For me, on Steam, I believe I'm EarthDweller87, and if there's any League players out there, I believe my summoner name is either EarthDweller or EarthDweller87.
I think it's Earth Dweller.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is EarthDweller. So
We need to get back to some LoL.
I've been playing, not too much, but
Well-
but that's discussion for another day. Signing off. I think we are good. This is Earth.
This is Edge.
This is Lynch.
Have a good day, evening, night, and month, everyone.
Just keep watching anime, guys.
Please do.
Stay calm. Watch anime.